Hello everyone. Welcome to my second stream. This will feature a flight coming from Dublin to an airport near Groningen in the Netherlands. Hello George, welcome. I already clicked the wrong button. Just gonna load up the plan I generated. So the weather will be generated correctly along the route. It's gonna be a VATSIM flight. I've not connected yet because I've just started up the game, but I will connect very shortly. In fact, after I switched on the power, I will just connect the plane to VATSIM as well. For now we're parked at gate 400 right at Dublin, and it's going to be an EasyJet flight today. Last stream I actually did a KLM flight in an A320, which is incorrect because KLM doesn't actually have A320s. Let me just adjust the title of this video because we're not going to Frankfurt. Alright, that's done. So it's time to start this plane up, I suppose. And we're gonna start with the batteries. And also we can connect the external power and turn the navigation lights on, which are these green and red lights on the wings, and on the back is a white one, I believe. Yeah, definitely. And I will connect the client as well now. There we go, we should be connected. And indeed I see another plane popping up here in Dublin. So that's good. Alright, moving on. The primary flight displays can be switched on as well and set to bright. So there's actually a second knob behind the first one that controls the brightness for the weather radar. It's like one of those details you could miss at first. I mean, I did. There we go. Just gonna check my navigation database. And the active one is 1706, which is recent, so that's good. Alright, we don't need any other lights. We can enter some data on the right side here, and the left, on the right MCDU. In fact, I'm going to open some doors for cargo as well. And there we have some cargo doors that are open. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to connect to a jetway, because this one over here is quite far away. So I think if I hit the key, then nothing happens, and indeed nothing does happen. Alright, no worries. So moving on. Ground services, traffic cones, wheel chucks, and external power were connected. And we can move to the load and fuel page. Hello, Jeanette. I am indeed on VATSIM, and this is Flight Simulator X. I don't have FSX installed, so I can't answer your question, I'm afraid. We'll be traveling with 99 passengers, and yes, I just made that up actually, but we'll have 3 tons of cargo. Our fuel, I went ahead and did generate the fuel quantity that we need, including reserve fuel. We're gonna need about 6.7 metric tons, 6.7, and at this point we can start boarding and start loading cargo and fuel. And as we can see, the passenger numbers are increasing as well as the fuel. Currently we have about 2.6 and a half thousand kilograms of fuel, which is now increasing. Yes, I have Active Sky installed as well. And for FSX I have the Aerosoft Dublin scenery, so kind of looks like this. I think it's rather nice. I mean, I've been to Dublin in real life, and it sure looks a lot like it. Alright, while that stuff is loading, we can continue with the cockpit preparation. Engine master switch is set to off for both engine number 1 and 2. Engine mode selectors in the normal position. Landing gear lever is down. Parking brake is off. Flaps lever is in the 0 up position. Speed brake is retracted. The thrust levers are idle, as we can see here. Transponder mode and standby, which should be the case. Yeah, I'm gonna set a default IFR squawk code in here as well while I'm at it. And then we can move on to the radio panels. I'm wondering if Dublin has any ATIS online. Doesn't look like we have, but that's okay. This is the Aerosoft A320 and I do not have Rex clouds. I think they might be on a Steam sale at the moment, so might be something that I could look into if I think it's a nice addition. Alright, the radios are on, and I needed to check the frequency as well. We could tune into the tower at 118.6. Also need to get my headphones out for this. Alright, there we go. Then the ECAM recall switch is this little button over here. It doesn't give us any specific messages, so that's good. The anti-skid switch is on the on position. The flight director is in the on position. The emergency lights, they can be armed. No smoking sights can be turned on as well. And because we're loading passengers, we can also turn on the seatbelt sign. Wing engine anti-ice is correct. Probe window heat is also correct. Hot air. It's also correct. Packs are on. Blower extract fans are on. Engine generators are on. Then the fuel pumps are off, so they need to be switched on. The hydraulic electric pump can also be turned on. And the ground proximity wiring system is set.
Right at 99 Golf Charlie, there's no further ATC, and 12 Unicorn 122.8. Have a good flight. Bye-bye.
Seems the radio's working.
Ryan 99 Golf Charlie, monitor 122.8. Thank you for the service, sir. Bye-bye.
And the ADRs can be set to nav. That completes most of the preparation. The ADC sound is actual people on the VATSIM network that are connected on the same frequency, so they also they can really talk to each other, and I'll have to do that as well soon to get our IFR clearance. Okay, we can move to the left MCDU and start to enter some data. We'll be going from Dublin, which is VIDW, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check. Yes. And we are going to my local airport, EHGG. Alright, so we're gonna align the IRS. IRS will be in alignment in about 4 minutes, and then our navigation screen will come to life as well. Our flight number for today, there's not an actual flight on this route in real life, so I cannot match it, but for now I will call myself Easy 937. For FSX you need to install a VATSIM client to get going. And yeah, you need a little bit of training to know everything that's going on, and to try to follow the rules a little bit. It's best to first learn the plane completely, and then start flying on VATSIM, I suppose. I use vPilot as a client. Looks a little like this. Alright, the cost index 35 will do. Cruising altitude, I forgot what I generated. I think flight level 370, yes. So that's gonna be 370. Then on the next page our block fuel will need to be entered as well, which is 6.7. Initial fuel prediction looks good to me. Yeah, vPilot is a very nice client to start with. It works quite well. Let's see. After we did this, we can start entering the flight plan. I'm not sure which runway is in use at the moment. Dublin, maybe I can find out. I mean, I can look up the wind direction and estimate, basically. Dublin International has a wind direction of 250 at 60 knots. 250. And if I look at the chart, what does that mean? No, not this one. The traffic is also live traffic. So it's going to be other people that are on the network as well. Alright, moving on. The charts. I suppose runway 28 would make a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that runway for now. We can change it later. So for our departure, runway 28, and we have several departures possible. And my first waypoint is going to be Liffey, so that means I need to Liffey 5 Alpha Sid. That will take us to Liffey. and from here we can enter an airway. No, I don't have FS Ultimate Traffic live. Alright, for the routes. After Liffey we are gonna take airway UL975. And after that one we're gonna take M16, which kind of sounds like a rifle, an assault rifle as well. And our intermediate waypoint is WAL, which is correct. After M16 we need airway Lima 603, and that should take us via Dulles, that's correct. And now we need Uniform Zulu 304, and that should take us via Lamso, also correct. And finally this airway should take us to Groningen. And that looks correct to me. And for our arrival, I'm gonna look up the weather data as well. EHGG, currently surface winds 300 degrees at 15 knots. Alright. 300 degrees. So that's slightly west-northwest, I suppose. That would give us a bit of a crosswind, but I'm assuming that the best runway is runway 23. So I'm gonna select that for now. ILS runway 23, and we'll be coming from the Groningen waypoint, which means I should have the Groningen 1 Golf arrival, but I'm gonna check the chart because I'm not entirely sure. Let's see, arrivals. Instrument approach chart, runway 23. There we go. Wait, is there a complete map with every star? Ah, there we go. Standard arrival chart. Where's the airport? The airport is over there. Yeah, that definitely makes the most sense. You guys can't see the chart at the moment, but if you look at this, then one golfer will come in from the west, and then we circle and land on 2-3. So we're gonna enter that as well. Yes, indeed, that is my home airport. It's easy to navigate, so when I'm on the ground I don't get lost at all the taxiways. I kind of know it quite well, so that's very helpful. And I've got scenery installed for this as well, so that makes it look a little bit nicer. Alright, let me double check the flight plan in the plan mode. Here we are, Dublin, and we're gonna go east. And here, via Lamso, we get to Groningen, and this looks a little bit messed up, if I'm honest. Yeah, this is not an approach I would actually want to fly. Let's see, it goes to... right. Yeah, I guess I should remove this one here and clear this discontinuity. Insert that, and that looks sort of okay. Yeah, there's another one. Need to clear this one, and that would... I think that looks alright to me. So we get to SO, then we go to 742. Yeah, okay. Yep, that checks out. I'm just gonna manually enter an altitude constraint as well to make sure I can capture the localizer and the glide slope correctly. Oops, that doesn't work. Yeah, there's so many buttons and most of them work, so that makes you want to tinker with everything that you can. Alright, I think we have the route set up. We can move on to the block fuel. No, we entered that already. We can go to the performance page. We'll have a standard flaps 2 configuration, which will give us a V1 of 123 knots and a rotate of 130 knots and V2 of 132. Thrust reduction altitude of 1742. Looks good, looks good. Some additional configuration we can do. The landing system should be turned off. We should put this back in arc mode, and we should set this to manage mode. Do we have any constraints when we start off? Basically 3000. Oh yeah, okay. So that is set, and that is set as well. Ecam status checked. IRS alignment is checked. We are now we have a position fix, and we're back on the flight plan page. Am I forgetting anything? The barometric should be set to 1023. That's correct. It's the local pressure. We can start to switch on the APU at this point. So master switch over there. We automatically select the APU page. The flap is open. That means we can hit the start button as well. Hello stranger, welcome. This is multiplayer, yeah, I'm on VATSIM. I just configured the plane. I have not yet talked to anybody, but that will soon be on my checklist. There's not much activity going on, it seems. Let me just check. I'm all by myself, it looks like. Ah, we can hear the APU starting up. It's now available, which means we can also hit the APU bleed switch. And I get a hello from Zeewold, Flevoland. I think I've crossed very close to Zeewold. I remember seeing a sign for it for sure. So yeah, welcome Derek. Alright, so we started the APU and we have pressure, hydraulic pressure I think, so we can yes, we have pressure because the pump is on, so we can set the parking brake as well, which is over here. Let's see, thrust levers are idle. Alright. Then the barometric reference, I also already set that to the local QNH. Seatbelt signs are on. Since we are now on our own power, we can disconnect the external power over here. So that switch goes back to available. Let's see if our passengers have boarded. We have a number of 99 out of 99, so everyone's on board. Cargo is loaded, fuel is loaded as well, which means it might be a good time to switch the doors. I mean, we still have 3 doors open, the cabin and 2 cargo doors. So we're gonna close this door and the cargo doors as well. Alright, looks good. And we have to double check if the slides are armed after and the doors are closed, which will appear on this screen here. In the meantime, because we're on the parking brakes, we can remove traffic cones, the wheel chocks as well, and of course the external power. And alright, I think we're mostly set. I think it's time to get our clearance from ATC at this point to ensure we're able to go to our destination. So let's see, the local controller is 1118.6, which I've already entered here. I need to get out my pen and well, a pencil in this case as well, because I like to write things down, because it also tends to this information tends to arrive in a short timely fashion, so this stupid envelope will work for now. Alright. I'm gonna administer some data here as well, like that's okay. So we're gonna be Easy Flight 937. I have to remember my call sign. It's not my usual call sign, so I hope I don't get confused. And last time I was at Gatwick, and the ground controller kept popping on and off online, and that kind of messed up the normal sequence. I hope this time that won't be a problem. Yeah, you would do the same thing? You mean writing it down? Yeah, I think a lot of people do it on VATSIM. I think, yeah, especially with a clearance, you get so much information in a short time. It might be a good idea to keep the departures list open as well, because if he suggests a different one, then I can look it up quickly. Alright, now let me double check my phraseology that I'm gonna use, because it's gonna be like something like this. Let me double check the gate that we are at. So this is 400 right. There's not any 80s online, I think. I'm gonna double check. Might be silly if there is. Oh, there is now. The 80s has come online just now. That's excellent. That means we need to listen to get our information. 124 520 124 525. Yes.
Dublin Airport information, Kilo 1945 Kilo, wind 2 port creep at 10, visibility greater than 20 miles, sky conditions, view clouds at 2,000, 4,000, scattered, temperature 20, dew point 15, QNH 1024, ILS, runway 28 in use, landing and departing, runway 28, VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft bring back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact, you have Kilo. Dublin Airport information, Kilo 19.
Alright, so the current information is Kilo, and the active departure runway is 28. Luckily, that's also what I expected, so I don't have to make any changes here in the FMC. So, hooray! Let me see if you have any questions. No, okay, we're good. So I was busy constructing my call to get our clearance. There we go, I have something worked out. Alright, bear with me, I hope I can understand, because the audio quality is not always superb, but I hope I can manage. Double check the frequency. I'm now back on 108.6. Dublin ground, good evening, easy 937 at gate 400 right, requesting IFR clearance to Groningen. It remains eerily quiet. That's unusual. Did he fall asleep?
Every car, last station, call again.
Ah, there we go. Yes, Dublin, good evening, easy 937 at gate 400 right, requesting IFR clearance to Groningen.
Easy 937, Dublin Tower, good evening. There's no flight on plan filed. Can you resend it there, please?
Roger, I will resend the flight plan Easy 937. That's interesting.
937, thank you.
I thought I had entered that already, but they did not receive it yet, so I'll double check my data. Let's see. Something is out of the ordinary here. Departure time, yeah. Oh wait, cruising altitude. Right. Yep, also correct. This is correct as well. Yeah, you guys can't see this, but I'm just checking my my VATSIM flight plan and see if anything went wrong with sending it. I will resend it and check the information now. Yeah. So my departure was the Liffey 5 Alpha. Yep, it's in there as well. And the arrival. Yeah, 1 Golf. Alright, so we'll refile it now. And wait just a tiny second so the information will be available. Dublin, hello, Easy 937 should have filed flight plan at this stage and requesting IFR clearance to Groningen.
Easy 937, thank you. You're clear to destination with the Liffey 5 Alpha departure only 28. Initial climb flight level 90. Use clock 6664. Departure frequency will be Dublin approach 121 tomorrow.
Cleared IFR to Groningen via the Liffey 5 Tango departure for runway 28. Initial climb level flight level 90. Squawk 6664 and the departure frequency is 121.0. Easy 937.
GP 937, your readback is correct. Confirm pushing start.
Alright. So we can climb initially to 9. And our squawk code was 6664. And the approach frequency, we can enter that as well. 121.1 in this case. All right. Yeah, we're all set. It's time to request our push-in start. Dublin EZ937 is fully ready at 400 right, requesting push and start.
EZ937, push and start is approved, QNH 1024.
Push and start approved, QNH 1024, EZ937. So that needs to go up a notch actually. Our push and start is approved, so we can finally get our engines running and start our pushback now. So this means releasing the parking brake. The slides on our doors are armed and all the doors are closed. Yeah, we can activate the pushback at this point. So there we are, we're moving. And we can start our engine, so our engine mode selector switch goes to start, and we're gonna start engine number 2. Let me just check for traffic a little bit. We're good. Now we can see a little smoke plume from our engine that's starting up. Engine number 2 stabilized, starting number engine number 1. And this is quite far enough for the pushback. Parking brake is on. And our number 1 engine is also yeah, it's a completely invisible pushback. And yeah, there was a barking noise that is related to the hydraulic system, but that was earlier, I think. You can hear it sometimes. Alright, both engines have started. And so we can set our engine mode selector back to normal. We can turn the APU bleed air off as well, and the APU master switch. We can also arm the spoilers and check the rudder trim. The rudder trim is set at 0 degrees. The pitch trim. If we look at our computer here, we selected up 0.8 degrees of pitch trim, so we need to check if that is set. On the flight control page, let me double check. Yeah, that's working. So we turn the trim wheel here and move it to up 0.8 degrees. Alright. 0.8 degrees set, and I've lost count of where I was on my checklist. Flight controls check, yes, it's definitely working, I knew that. Flaps, we need to set the flaps in their flaps 2 positions, or that will do the trick. Put this back on the flight plan. And after the flaps, engine anti-ice, that's all correct. ACAM status, that's fine as well. Doors are closed. Do I need to set any brakes? Not yet, alright. And moving on, the nose light can be set to taxi mode. And the auto brake system should be set to max for a rejected takeoff. And FU is set. Okay, takeoff configuration. Test. Takeoff configuration is normal. The weather radar. Sometimes almost forget this. Put it to turbulence and normal precipitation, so we switch it on here. And it's currently pointing at a positive 4.8 degrees. It's just correct for ground. And the flight director needs to be on, which it is. The transponder is set. I suppose we can move this to TARA at this point as well, because we're going to move anyway. Mode C is selected as well. Any other things I need to do? Anti-skid wheels set. Strobe lights I can do when I enter the runway. Okay, cool. We're all set and we can request our taxi clearance. Let's see. Get the good old pencil back out. And I also need to get my chart ready, because else I won't be able to follow the taxi instructions. So if we look from above, we're situated here and our departure runway is here, so it's gotta be relatively simple. This first taxiway is taxiway 5, then we can probably cross link 2 over here, and we either could cross this runway or go left to go to the start of 28. Yeah, could be either one of those things. I got a chart on my other screen here, so and I hope to follow along. Dublin, Easy 937, requesting taxi. Hello, Ollie Reed. So looks like we again have a bit of a sleepy controller. There's not much activity at this airport, so that might explain that he fell asleep. Gonna double check my frequency. Yeah, that's all set. I guess there's nothing else we can do but try again. Dublin Tower, Easy 937, requesting taxi.
Easy 937, taxi via link 2, Foxtrot, equal 1, hold short runway 28.
Say again for Easy 937?
Easy 937, taxi via link 2, Foxtrot, equal 1, hold short runway 28.
Taxi via link to Foxtrot and then Echo 1 to holding point runway 28, ET 937. Alright, so I think I have the route sorted out. We're gonna go leave this apron, take a left turn, then move up to Echo 1 to start at the very start of runway 28. So if you look from above, it's gonna be this way, left, right, and then we're there, so it's not very hard in this case. Alright, we can remove the parking brake. Well, not remove it. Kinda want to keep the parking brake, but I'm gonna switch it off so we can roll. Time for some engine power. And the engines are spooling up, I hope. Yeah, it takes a little while, but they spring to life. So here we go, turning right. So we're leaving the apron here. And we should be going left on Foxtrot soon. This is link 2. And this is Foxtrots. Yay, that's correct. So we need to take a left here. Now we are on link 1. Double check from above, are we going? Yep, straight ahead. Wait, straight ahead, is that correct? Yep. And here we arrive.
89 surface wind 240 degrees, 10 knots, runway 28, clear for takeoff.
Yes, cleared for takeoff, runway 28, thank you very much, easy 937. So, we are cleared for takeoff. I'm just gonna set some switches like the strobe lights need to be turned on, and as well the landing lights, the runway turn off light, and this one. And there we go, all set. Gonna line up at the runway.
Approaching 3-4.
Just straight ahead a little bit further. And now for a nice lineup.
Approaching 2-8. On runway 28.
Alright, looks good. Before takeoff checklist is completed, we can set our chronometer, and we are at takeoff. We can set the power to flex. Engine spooling up. Man, SRS runway flex. Yes. Thrust is set. A small crosswind that I need to correct for. Nothing too bad. And we are at V1. We can rotate. And positive rate. Gear goes up. Disarm the spoilers. I'm gonna fly this section manually for now. Just a tiny correction to the left. And there's an approach controller online as well.
Dublin Tower, Shamrock 36 Tango is ready to copy. I have ordered Cork at gate 10, aircraft type A319.
I'm gonna pull up the flaps.
Shamrock 36 Tango, Dublin Tower, good evening. You're clear to Cork. It's Colombo 5 Alpha departure runway 28. Initial climb flight level 90. Use Cork.
Alright.
Goodbye.
And I'm gonna just connect the autopilot for now. It's a little bit easier.
Use Cork 6644.
Speed checked. Flap 0.
Frequency B121 decimal.
There we go. And that was a good liftoff, I think. Wait, did I just miss a message? I don't think so.
Here to Cork, block 6644, use runway 28, climb 9000, contact departure on 121.8 and departure Olon 1 Bravo, going you, or Shamrock 36.
We can put our pressure to
Shamrock
standard.
36 Tango.
Ryanair 499 Whiskey Rescue.
Dublin departure, good day, easy 937, passing 750 on the Levy 5 November, Alpha departure.
Easy 937, good evening. Identified. Continue climb flight level 120.
Climb to flight level 120 for easy 937. Alright.
At easy 937, you now leave my airspace over Unicom 122 decimal 8. Have a great flight today.
Going to Unicom, thank you very much, easy 937. Oh no. We have an 80s on our Unicom frequency, that's very annoying. I'll just hold that off for a little bit. The name of this game, Alex, is Flight Simulator X, the Steam edition. We have altitude star and speed hold. We are now at flight level 120. Let me double check if I missed anything. Our gear is up, our spoilers are disarmed, and our flaps are at 0. Thrust is set to climb. Autopilot is on. Transition altitude was passed, and we're above 10,000 feet, so we can turn those landing lights off. Seatbelt signs can come off as well, and we can continue our climb in uncontrolled airspace to flight level 370. back climbing quickly again. And our workload has decreased a little bit now. We can relax a little bit. Any constraints coming up? Nope. We're going straight to Liffey at first. No significant weather. Alright, that's us leaving Ireland, I suppose. A little bit of hazy clouds above. Sea looks nice and shiny today. And you can tell the sun is setting a little bit, and because we'll be flying east, that means the sun will set even faster than it usually would. I see that the London Control airspace has come online as well. This is us flying here. And we'll be entering this airspace, so I'll soon need to connect to 132.6. 132.6. We're passing through flight level 200. Quick instrument check there, but everything is looking well. I think I'm rather close already, let me confirm. Yeah, I'm right on the border of the airspace soon, so I will need to connect. Hello Tim, are you watching my stream? Nice, very cool. If anyone has any questions, I mean, feel free, because I'm a little less occupied at the moment. This plane will sort of fly itself now. I'll just occasionally need to monitor our fuel usage and those kind of things, but I don't foresee any problems. So, different frequency.
You approach number 2, no speed control, speed of 8. DD5132 London. BG5132 with you at flight level 230. Send this to. Continue with Amsterdam now, please. 135, correction 125 decimal. In fact, BD5132, turn left. On radar heading 055. Do that now, please. Turning left one, heading 055, BD5132. CT5132, report that heading to Amsterdam 125.750.
Transferring frequency to Amsterdam Centre on frequency 125.750. Thanks for your help, bye-bye.
Alright, let's check in with London Control.
London Tower, good evening. Thompson 2824 with you at Birmingham, port request clearance to Gatwick.
Speedbird 986 Golf, climb flight level 370.
Flight level 370, Speedbird 986 Golf.
Thompson 2824, good evening. Clear to Gatwick, Cowley 3 Delta departure, runway 33, squawk 5426.
I hope I'll be able to get in between.
Okay, Thompson 2824, clear to Gatwick via the Cowley 3 Delta departure, runway 33 and 5426 in the box.
Thompson 2824, correct, push and slow approved.
Push and start approved, Flyer. Thompson 2824.
London Control, good evening. Easy 9037 with you, passing flight level 2804370.
London Central, runway left station.
Zero 233, can you keep moving off the runway please? You've not vacated, you're still on it. Left onto Alpha.
Not sure if my communications came through.
London Control, easy 58 Alpha Tango.
They might be a little bit preoccupied.
Who is that, sorry?
Easy 58 Alpha Tango.
58 Alpha Tango, good evening.
London Control, we're requesting, currently at Newton, requesting Alpha to Amsterdam, Amsterdam, easy 58 Alpha Tango.
58 Alpha Tango, clear for Schiphol, Mach 2 Yankee departure, runway 26, squawk 6253.
Gating to Amsterdam S4, that's to Yankee departure from T6, squawking 6253, G558 Alpha Tango.
Easy 58 Alpha Tango, correct. Speedbird 8, runway 27 left, clear to land, wind 270 degrees, 9 knots.
Close one, runway 27 left, Speedbird 8.
Speedbird 23, continue on Alpha Park on stand 511.
Yeah, this part of the airspace is incredibly busy at times.
Wings 172, monitor 122, decimal 8, good evening.
127 light, your wings 172, have a good night.
Estimated 856 space station on the
Etihad H52, roger. Are you cargo? Etihad 856, taxi to stand 12, good evening.
1, 2,
Sorry, disregard that. Taxi to stand 3, good evening.
stand
Move now.
London Control, good day, easy 9037 with you, passing flight level 300 for 370. no idea what's happening here. Very unusual, but I will double check if he can read me. It's a rather nice sunset though in the meantime.
BTA 475, question 9 at 8745,
One to good as my command.
I'm just gonna have to try again.
Hello, speed at 146. 6 is back with you. Ready to descend.
Food 146,
A320 speed at 146.
Food 146, thanks direct to Big N, descent flight level 70, if you can be level at Big N.
Ready to descend 70, level at Big N, speed at 146.
2 8, vacate to 27 left.
Speedbird 8, thank you, continue by Alpha and Charlie, Park stands 545, good evening.
Alpha Charlie 545, Speedbird 8.
And Thompson 2824 is ready for taxi.
Thompson 2824, taxi holding point.
In the meantime, we're coming up into our cruise altitude of 370. It's starting to blink.
Following point Echo 1 at runway 3313.
Mac
Thompson 22.
hold is enabled as well as altitude star.
125.75, speedbird 986, go, thanks for that. Under control, November 172 Sierra, Papa, looking for radio check.
November 172 Sierra, Papa, readability 5.
Roger, thank you, London, November 172 Sierra, Papa.
London Centre, TUI, 579, 4000.
TUI Jet 579, good evening, time now flight level 270, no speed control.
Current flight level 270, TUI, 579.
London control, hello, it's the Air Canada 856-213, descending 70.
Wow, so busy.
Canada 856, good evening, score 3376.
3376, Air Canada 856.
Very, very busy.
London control, good evening, speedbird 1315, level 370.
Time to read a newspaper, I guess.
Speedbird 1315, London control, 1 Bravo to 27 Riot.
As of the arrival, my system speedbird 1315.
Ground control, good evening, speedbird 224.
Stuart 224, good evening, Bovington 1 Bravo to 27 left, score 0314.
0314, 27 left, 1 Bravo, arrival, speedbird 224.
Air Canada 856, descent flight level 8, they roll to be level at Ockham, landing 27 last.
Descend to level 70, level by Ockham, arriving runway 27 left, Canada 856.
Flight level 8, they roll please.
Level 80, sorry about that, FSX.
224, runway 33, fully ready.
Thompson 2824, runway 33, clear for takeoff, 290 degrees, 7 knots.
Clear for takeoff, runway 33, thanks, Thompson 34.
Speedbird 146, leave Big N heading 360 degrees, speed 200 knots, or less.
Move Big N heading 360, speed 220, runway speed level 46.
TUI Jet 579, flight level 350.
Flight level 350 flight.
So it might be good to do a fuel check. Fuel on board 4.9 tons. Let's check the fuel page.
Central 150
We have a good distribution. The left engine is using a little bit more fuel, but it's all good.
Eva 224, descend flight level 150 to the level after stoppage 270 knots on left.
Descend flight level 150, stop at 270 knots or left, leave the 224.
Control, good evening. Radio check on frequency 132, decimal 6, 04650. Thank you.
Dr. Good evening, speedbird 304. Stand partial Heathrow information. Charlie, QNH 1025 820 to Paris, Charlie Ball.
So a little feature that I also showed last time. It's a little monitor over here. It seems that with a little switch here you can actually turn it on, and you can see who's supposedly on the other side of the cockpit door. I've never seen any activity there though.
Flight level 140, top of 284.
Hey, there's another plane in the distance. You can just about see that.
This is actually when ready for departure.
Negative, pushing start through from the stage to the east.
On the last flight a little turn coming up. There was a plane on the same route as I was, and we were also on the same altitude, but he was traveling faster.
Can you redirect to Kidley, please?
So we had to pass underneath. It's a very interesting situation.
Yeah, we can go direct Kidley. Thompson 224, Willow Street, Bravo arrival.
Thank you. Speedbird 146, descent altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1025.
4,1025.
London Control, good day, Easy 9037, flight level 370 inbound Xapos.
Sorry, stop. Speedbird 146, turn left heading 300 degrees when established, localizer 27 left, descend right now.
Tower 7300, once established on a lag line, then it's set line path to be good over.
2HF 579, route direct to Belmont, please.
Direct on right, TUI, 579.
Speedbird 146, there's no speed control, please no one.
No speed, cool, speed.
Command control, standard gate 61, prepare fire fast to Warsaw. Info Charlie is on board and QNH 105.
You also Brookman's Park 7 Foxtrot departure, squawk 0313.
clear to Warsaw via the
So is the ATC
7 Foxtrot departure.
audio too loud in comparison to the other audio, or is this fine as it is now?
Speedbird 84650, correct,
Because they're chatting like non-stop, and I can imagine it's kind of annoying. I mean, it's all I can hear about now, basically.
Speedbird 304, stand 508 for crest, push and start.
Speedbird 304, push and start, crew face north.
Face north, thanks, Speedbird 304.
3Jet 579, the furthest flight on 122, decimal 8, good evening.
122 decimal 8 to your right, Air 579, thanks.
Speedbird 1315, descend flight level 80 to be left at Hobbington.
Flight 80 for Speedbird 135.
Canada 856, leave Ockham heading 075, speed 220 knots. Leave Ockham heading 75 and speed 220 here today, flash 6.
Anyway, let's check our computer for a little bit to see when we'll reach our top of descent point. The top of descent point is 2057, which is in about... I suck at math, but it's about 20 minutes. So before that we have to start our descent preparations. And we will arrive on our destination in less than half an hour. No, actually 40 minutes.
And Speedbird 146, confirm no speed.
It's getting a little bit dark in here as well, because the sun is set, so
Speedbird 146, just confirm.
I'll just turn on this magic switch, and that will activate the lights on the instruments and everything.
Canada 856, descent flight level 7. So level 70 or J56.
Alright, nice and steady.
Thompson 2824, flight level 150.
If we look at the
Up to 150, Thompson 224.
at the map here, the weather map, we can, well, aside from all the clouds, see that we're kind of above United Kingdom at the moment. Nicely tracking along our flight plan. And looks like there won't be any rain. There's one other plane here. And the conditions at our destination are about 15 degrees. And the wind is dying down a little bit, so that's good. And hello, Ben Montgomery, a BA captain flying the A320 family. Wow, that's excellent. Thank you for the compliment as well. I will definitely subscribe to your channel, because you know, getting that insider's view is always a great experience. And yeah, I'm learning a lot recently. Of course, just by flying flights on VATSIM, but I'm also trying to get some trickier approaches down in offline mode, so I don't get in anyone's way. I suppose the airport that I'm heading to is not something that you would usually fly to, because it's kind of a regional airport. It is an international airport, but it mainly flies holiday destinations.
Descent 4000 feet 1025, Kennedy 56.
Speedbird 1315, leave on heading 125, your speed control.
And yeah, I'm coming from a sort of software background, so the highly computerized Airbus cockpits are kind of extra interesting for me, because I'm interested to see how these computer systems are designed, and I kind of like the, you know, the dark cockpit philosophy with all the switches being off, and that makes sense in terms of user experience. What's the line today? I'm not sure what you mean by line in this case. Yeah, it might look like I know what I'm doing, but I'm just learning a lot still. Like every flight, there's still things I'm discovering. For instance, this little monitor here that you can turn on.
This is Speedbird 684 with you, stand 522 at Heathrow, requesting IFR clearance to Innsbruck as far as tighter than Airbus A320 information. Charlie on board.
Thank you very much for the subscription. I will be sure to return the favor.
Score 1176.
Limited to Innsbruck on the Dublin 24 short departure and 1176 in the box. Speedbird 8, correction 681.
Correct.
Let me just
Canada 856,
take a guess of our fuel on board when we arrive. It's going to be a little bit heavy, I think, with 3.5 tons, but I think it will work out.
Attention.
I am currently 27 years old, which feels a little bit old. Yeah, I might have. It would have been better if I started flying maybe 10 years ago, I guess. But this weekend I will be taking a glider course to start with, and just get the basics of flying down in real life. I mean, I think it's a cool start as well. It's not quite compared to the complex, you know, airline flying, of course, but the basics are good to start with anyway, and those are also applied to a glider plane.
I have some drink for you, Captain. Here you are.
Seems the flight attendant has just given us a drink as well. Unfortunately, in real life, I don't have anything on my desk. I'm ill prepared, and I hope to make it all the way to our destination before drying out. Then again, the autopilot isn't kind of in control, of course, so I might run for the kitchen. I'm still a little puzzled what happened on the ATC earlier, but I think we're good, so I will connect to the, tune into the Amsterdam radar frequency when we cross the North Sea. And not sure how long that will take. It seems we're just off the east coast of the UK, so we're about to enter the North Sea here. The channel, well, not quite a channel, but in about, I would say, 100 kilometers. I'm not sure how many nautical miles that is. We will need to switch over. Okay, Ben, I see your video will be available as soon as you get permission and stuff. I'll gladly wait, no worries. We have been in the air for 35 minutes and we're passing Dolus. We have a bit of a tailwind, well, rather strong one I suppose, maybe at 51 knots. Which means we would arrive a little bit faster than initially planned maybe. And the sky is turned into a night scene. So Ben, have you discovered any quirks or inconsistent things you see in this virtual cockpit compared to an actual one? I see the London controls also gone off. That guy was very occupied. He has to control not only most of the whole southern part of the UK, but also the smaller airports like Birmingham or Leeds, and all the traffic there on every level from the ground up, so that's a pretty hefty workload for just one guy. And I see the controller of the Amsterdam radar airspace is also streaming at the moment. I'm just gonna let him know that. I got a master caution because I've hit my joystick and I put the thrust lever out of the climb position. There we go, I fixed it. Yeah, I was also blown away by the realism of this plane. I mean, I did pay some money for it, of course, so you kind of expect a certain level of detail, and honestly it was a little bit beyond the expectation. I mean, not every switch works 100% as it does in real life, but for all intents and purposes you can fly it pretty much the same, and it's been a great journey to learn a lot about this plane and aviation in general. We can see the sun sort of still on the horizon in the distance, but otherwise the sky is rather dark. Of course, at this altitude we'll be leaving some vapor behind. And on the right here we have the UK down below, and in front of us the North Sea, and I can't quite see the Netherlands yet in the distance, but that won't take long, I suppose. Our live weather is updated again. Some broken clouds at 4,000 feet. Yeah, I will flick the seatbelt sign for you. Let's see if it makes a sound. So yeah, it does, and you can even hear the announcement that flight attendants telling people to get back in their positions and fasten the seatbelts. So we simulated, we were about to have a little bit of turbulence, so it has passed now and they can move about again. If we look at our primary navigation display, we can see the top of descent coming up. Well, in about 70 nautical miles. So we'll try to obtain some weather information soon. As you can see, nothing on the weather radar of any kind. If I look out the window here as well in the Netherlands, it looks like it's going to be a great weather. That's an announcement I don't think I've ever heard before. That's very interesting. Yeah, great. You glad you like it, Ben? Nothing but sea. Roger that, Ben. I see you're leaving. I will just note down your username for now, and I will be able to add you later. No problem. You can always check this live stream later on if it's it should be on my channel if you want to see the landing later on. So I'm gonna check our progress here for a little bit. Update the map. There we go. Here we are, EZ937. We are off the coast now. Here's the separation line. And then we will contact Amsterdam. Oh, there's no need actually, because it just went off. Oh well, we'll see how the ATC availability will be. And Ben, yeah, thanks for watching. Nice to see you on the chat, and I will check into your channel, and I'll see you later. Might as well do a fuel check. 4 tons of fuel on board. That is excellent. So I don't have my newspaper on my tray here, but yeah, what you gonna do? See how many minutes we still have to fly before our top of descent. It's expected to be 2 minutes before 9, and we now are 6 minutes before 9. So in about 4 minutes. We're now in a turn. Last stream I had a tiny bit of difficulties in managing my approach. Almost didn't work out, but thankfully it did. So our destination is here in the north. We can see the top of descent here on the flight display, and it's about 25 nautical miles now, so I'll get some weather information soon.
Hello, Captain. I have some sandwiches for you. Enjoy.
And now we got some sandwiches. I'm not sure I ever heard that before either. That's a nice surprise, I suppose. We also don't have any food here. Alright, I'm gonna get the weather information ready. And we can enter that in our FMC. Performance page. We go to the approach page. A QNH local pressure is 1022. Temperature on 5. Wind is 280 at 10 knots. Transition altitude. I'm gonna double check. I do have a chart lying around somewhere. Standard arrival chart. Transition level by ATC. Transition altitude 3000. So plus 100. I mean plus 1000 is 4000. I'm gonna use the radio altimeter. There we go. Check again on Unicom frequency and landing speed of 124 knots. Speed 176. Alright, all good. And we're getting close to our top of descent, so I'm going to enter lower altitude here. And it's time to initiate the descent. descent checklists, QNH, blah 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 blah. Alright, we're ready for descent and I'm gonna hit the button. We're going into managed descent mode, and as you can see we're throttling back. Engines are at idle speed, or thrust setting I should say, and here we have the magenta dot, and this represents our vertical, our optimal vertical descent path, and the autopilot will keep the speed between well, 245 knots and 365 knots, I mean 265 knots, or this is rather 275 I guess, but we can check our deviation as well in the computer somewhere. But where? Ah, here. Vertical deviation minus 45 feet plus 27. Well, that means we're on target, and our descent is initiated properly at this point. Our next waypoint is Valam, and then we are very close to Groningen. Here we can see an island. I have to check which island it is. Yeah, it's the island of Texel, or Texel in the Netherlands. I've been there once, it's rather nice. Any other things we need to do? Anti-ice needs to be off. The seatbelt sign we can switch back to auto mode at this point. Barrel reference is set at standard pressure, that's correct as well. And we'll descend like this until we reach the 10,000 feet. Altitude motors armed. You can see this here in this well, bluish color, I suppose. Let's see on. Not sure. In terms of ADC, there's not so much going on anymore. I kind of hope the Amsterdam radar would stay online, but that didn't happen. There's going to be an SAS flight coming from Schiphol to Copenhagen on our right eventually. Not sure if we can see him yet, he's a bit far out. Oh wait, I see a little light there. Alright. Doesn't look like a collision course just yet. I don't see him on my TCAS because the altitudes are too different, I suppose. He's still below me. Here we have a large, not very long dike. We're descending through flight level 250 now. Still on track. We're going to be landing in pretty much clear skies and not a whole lot of wind. So might be nice to do a manual landing, which is a little bit more exciting, of course. I mean, more things that can happen. And we see a little icon here on the TCAS. There's a plane climbing in that direction. There he is, just at the top of the screen here. He's going to Copenhagen, and he's already 2,500 feet above us. And since we're descending, there's not going to be any issues here. And just like that, he vanished. I suppose if I turn this switch back to above, then he reappears, because we're now looking above as well. Normally when descending, I think pilots would actually set the TCAS to below. That would make the most sense to me. Or at the very least just keep it on the neutral central position. It's a rather long descent coming from 370. This city over here would probably be the town of Leeuwarden. And we're descending about 2,800 feet a minute, 29. And when we are below 10,000 feet, we will need to decelerate to the maximum of 250 knots, because that's a regulation. But the autopilot should take care of that automatically. Just looking at the checklist, not much to do. If we're lucky, we can maybe hit one of these clouds over there to entertain our passengers, or at least the pilot in this case. I can see two flights now, one over here and one over there. The Netherlands is also in real life very busy airspace. Here we can see our airport and our approach coming up. So we're gonna have a rather tight right hand turn, and then we're aligned with the VOR here, and then we can tune into the ILS system to get us down to the runway. It's nice and quiet with the engines at idle speed. I guess from the outside it also makes a little bit of a different sound. means the nose is pitching up a little bit. And that's because we're reaching 10,000 feet almost. And the nose will be pitched up to lose some speed so we can fly at 250 knots before we descend through 10,000 feet. And there we have it. It's about 250 knots. Small left turn. More drag required, so I'm gonna extend the speed brake now. And it's complaining a little bit. Yeah, I can imagine. So the speed brakes are on. You can see that over here. That will help us descend a little bit. We're below 10,000 feet. This means the seat belt sign will be turned on as well, and the landing lights. Yeah, we're back on our descent path here, so I'm gonna retract the ground spoilers again. We can activate the landing system. We can see the ILS frequency on the bottom left. We are ready for further descent. We can switch this back to about 20 maybe. I'm also gonna show the constraints. I'm actually gonna put in a slightly lower altitude to make sure we are below the glide slope when we intercept it, and this will make sure we have a nice nice capturing of the glide slope. Might as well turn this at 10. And I'm not sure if we can see the runway already from this direction, but looks like it might be on the right over here. So we will pass it first and then turn around and land on ILS runway 23. Gonna announce that on VATSIM just now. There we go. We're passing 5,000 feet. I'm gonna activate the approach mode as well at this point. Activate approach phase. There we go. This means we will reduce our speed a little bit further now. And at this point we can set flaps 1. We can see flaps 1 here being enabled. And we've crossed these little 2 bars over here, which means we can also go to the next flaps level. So flaps 2. Speed is decreasing further, that's alright. Yeah, that's That's a tight turn. I kind of wonder how the autopilot is going to make that happen. In fact, I will enter a manual heading of 358. And this will allow us to make a better turn in the end. So vertical speed, I will make it a little bit less. So heading 055. Uh, 050 might work a little bit better as well. And we have passed our transition level, which means we can go to the local QNH of 1022. And I'm just gonna reactivate the manage mode because I think the autopilot might be able to manage this just fine. Ooh, it's already going a steep turn. Oh well. Might have maintained the heading a little bit longer, but it's alright. Alright, there's our right turn coming up. Yes, it's tight. It's a little bit too tight.
2,500.
But alright, it's not too much of a big deal. I think we have some time to line up, but next time I think I will keep the heading a little bit longer, but we are at our intended altitude of 1900 feet. Altitude constrained. That's good. Here we have the runway, I think. I'm gonna arm the or activate the approach mode. Cat 3 is there. The glide slope and localizer are armed. And when the localizer is captured, I will lower the gear as well. And here we have the localizer joining up, as well as the glide slope. And we have both the glide slab and the localizer at the same time, so the plane will align further with the runway at this point. I will lower the gear. I will arm the spoilers. And I will set the auto brake to low. The nose light will be set to takeoff, which it is already. And the other lights are also set correctly. We're going with flaps 3. Speed is checked. Flaps full. 4. There we go. And we have aligned. Vertical profile is okay. 1400 feet. Landing checklist. Gear is down. 3 green. Spoilers are armed. Auto brakes are set. Landing lights, nose light checked. Okay, we're all set for landing. I need to get these trays out of the way though. I will try to fly the last part myself. Hello Ben, welcome back. Yeah, I'm on approach. I'm about to land. Very close. And I will...
Approaching 2, 3.
And I'm gonna disconnect the autopilot. So we're flying by our stick at the moment.
100 above.
Speed.
500.
Speed.
We are bang on target. Our auto throttle is a little bit difficult.
Minimum.
Having a little difficulty with the speed. A little above the glide path here.
400.
We are in land mode as well.
300.
Slightly below now.
200.
Slightly to the left.
Flight slow.
Yeah, I know.
Flight slow.
It's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine.
Speed. Speed.
100. 70. 60. 50. 40. 30.
Long landing.
20.
Long
Retard.
landing.
10. 5.
Reversers green, spoilers are up. Bit of rudder correction.
600 meters remaining.
Ooh, that was a long landing. That was a lot worse than the last one.
300
60
meters
knots.
remaining.
And manual brakes as well. Yeah, we had some space left. It's okay. And I'm gonna make this taxiway just jets. Actually, I'm not. That's not doable at all. Stop the chronometer. Should be another taxiway at the end, or maybe I have to backtrack. That was a little bit shaky, I must admit. And for some reason the auto throttle system was keeping my speed dangerously low. I'm just gonna turn the plane around here. Alright, turn around. And I'm gonna take the taxiway on the left now and return to the apron.
Approaching 05.
Yeah, this runway intersects with runway 05 as well. So we can do some after taxi checks and checklists. Let's see, our chronometer was stopped. Our nose light can actually go to taxi, and let's see, landing lights can also be turned off. And the same goes for the runway turn off light and the strobe light. We can put the transponder back to standby mode, and same goes for the flaps. We can retract those as well, retract the spoilers, and we're veering a bit, of course.
Approaching 01.
Here we have runway 01.
On runway 01, flaps, 900 meters remaining.
Taxiway Alpha would do the trick, I think, to reach our apron, so I'm just gonna take that here. In the meantime, we can switch off our weather radar and also the landing system. Get the APU started as well. I'm gonna be parking at Alpha 15, which I think is around the corner. This is a bit of a dark airport. Here we have Alpha 14 and this is Alpha 15. Brake a little bit and line it up. Alright, there we go. We have reached our destination. And somebody's waiting to receive us, apparently. We can set the parking brake. And we can turn off engine number 1. And of course engine number 2. There we can hear the famous barking sound from the hydraulics, the power transfer unit. Let's see how my parking job was. Yeah, I'm on the line. Not bad at all. Alright, our passengers are waiting to leave the plane, so I should continue. Parking brake is on, engine master 1 and 2 are off. That means we can also turn off the beacon light, which is over here. Nose light can be turned off. Seatbelt signs turned off. Fuel pumps as well. And we can set our traffic cones and as well the wheel chocks and connect external power again. Let me confirm that's in place. We have wheel chocks, we have external power over here. And we even have some cones. Marvelous. And it's time to open the doors. I mean, I don't have a jetway, not here again. So, unfortunately I don't have a stair either, so I hope they're not gonna fall again out of the plane like they kinda virtually did the last time. Opening the front left. And a cargo and another cargo door. Yeah, this is a bit of a problem for passengers in theory, but I mean, they should have been happy to be alive after that shaky landing, I think. So the last couple of feet down they can manage on their own. Bless you. Let's see, external power, we can connect that now as well. And we can also turn off APU. Okay, very nice, very nice. And locking sign. And the video monitor, sure, we can take that off as well. Okay, let's see if our passengers left. There's about 15 remaining. I guess they're expecting some connecting flight that's not really gonna happen because it's kind of my end destination, and it's getting late and there's nothing scheduled. Okay, further powering down. Let's see, radio panel. We can disconnect from VATSIM as well, and perhaps also turn off these little screens. Alright. Is the pump still on? We don't need that to be on. I can't tell. Yeah. And everything is set. We can turn this one off also. Okay, great. In theory I can also turn this off, and the batteries, and we're basically powered down. I mean, if I flick this switch it will be completely dark. I wonder if I can still use the dome light at this point. I guess it only works if you have the batteries on. That's the wrong switch, that one. There we go. Nice and bright. Alright, so here we are. Our EasyJet flight 937 has been completed. And we arrived in the Netherlands at this lovely local airport. And it's time to call it a night. I'm just gonna hang around for a minute or two if there's any questions, but in the meantime I'll just open the windows, get a fresh breath of air. Tim, no, it's not possible to open the windows during flight. I think there's a locking mechanism that prevents that from happening. And in fact, I think I'm not sure if you can see if the windows are in fact locked and opened. I'm just gonna reactivate this page. I was kind of expecting it to show up here. I guess it's just doors and not windows on this one. I will perform a test next time to see what actually happens when you try to pull the handle here. I'm pretty sure you can't move it in flight, but apparently we still have about 3.2 tons of fuel on board, which means we landed a little heavy. But I'm not sure why the auto throttle system didn't keep a normal approach speed. It was complaining the speed was a bit low, and it kind of affected my my glide path as well. And and I had to make some corrections at the last minute, which usually I don't really want to do, but kind of caused a long landing as well. But I know this runway, it's about 2.5 kilometers, so you have a little space to play with, but this might have been a scenario in which you would have gone around and make a new approach. But of course the risks in a virtual flight simulator are a lot less than in real life. So. No, afraid not. You can't put your face out of the window like a dog, because I think it would kind of rip your face off. An airspeed of about 400 knots is about 800 kilometers an hour. And your face can handle 200 kilometers an hour, because when I skydived I kind of experienced that, but I think at 800 and also a temperature of minus 59 and extremely low air pressure, you wouldn't be able to breathe and your face would freeze and fall off basically. The lower air pressure would also be a reason that this window should never be open in flight. It should not be possible, because of course you'll lose the cabin pressure and all the air will basically explode out of the plane, and the oxygen masks will come down. I'm not sure if there's any oxygen system that you can interact with on this plane. I think I've seen it somewhere. Why is my camera failing? I can kind of see a little button here that says oxygen. But I don't think we can do anything with the system. I know in the other plane I have, the PMDG 737, you can fully interact with this system. And if you press a button to activate the oxygen mask, then that can only be activated once, and then you've spent it. And here you have your oxygen mask, which you can put on in case of loss of cabin pressure. And Lashkar, thank you for watching, and have a good night. Okay, we can close a few doors again. I mean, everyone has left the plane, all the luggage is offloaded.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
Yeah, the lady thinks we're starting another flight, but someone should have told her that's not gonna happen. Alright, I think that concludes our flying for today. Ah yes, Tim. I've seen the aircraft investigation episode where the pilot got sucked out of the front window. I think it was a British Airlines flight, perhaps. I think the cause of the accident was like a bolt in the window that was incorrectly replaced, and when the pressure inside the plane was getting too high with the increasing altitude, the window flew out and the captain almost followed, and I think his face also almost froze off. It's definitely not something I should recommend or think is very healthy, but I guess in rare conditions you can also survive it. If anyone's interested, here is the aerodrome chart. So this is the airport where I'm at the moment. I've been here in real life as well a couple of times, and there's some spots you can nicely spot planes if you're into that. There's a taxiway here that is pretty close to a fence and a road that you can access, and that means you're getting very close to planes taxiing here, and occasionally get a little away from the pilots as well. And I also have a radio scanner that is able to tune into the tower frequency here. And you have an ILDE information, an ILDE tower, and an ILDE approach and delivery frequency here. It's mostly general aviation traffic, but some international flights also land here. And good to hear, my memory seems to work, and it was indeed a British Airlines flight. And indeed the bolt, yeah. Yeah, I think I've watched that show a little bit too often, perhaps. Alright, well, I think it was a rather nice flight. I had a little bit of troubles with the ATC, not in Dublin, that went smoothly, but in the air above London, the controller seemed a bit swamped. I didn't really get through, but and then he went offline, so I didn't really get to talk to him very much. Also, the Amsterdam Radar ATC went offline as well. So I didn't get to talk to him either, but there's also always next VATSIM flights that I can do. I see in Germany there's a lot of ATC still online. Guess I should have flown to Germany. Oh well, thanks everyone who's been watching today, and I think I'll be scheduling another stream perhaps tomorrow, or otherwise somewhere in the next week. I'll be gliding, I'll be in a gliding plane on Sunday, so I don't think I'll do any virtual flying, but rather more actual flying, I hope. so lights are off. Thanks everyone, and I hope to see you on the next flight, and hope you have a lovely evening. Cheers and goodbye.